Sunday and Monday, they had the days to work. They submitted their report on Tuesday, and we had to make a decision on that report. The filing was Wednesday. We have found them culpable. There were some allegations of, paying people and all that. We would come into whether those things constitute vote buying and all those things. But the committee said they are guilty of giving some incentives to the voters. So the party should punish them. In fact, the entire party agreed that we should even ignore the results. The majority issued a statement. All of them signed. All the regional caucus leaders signed that we should ignore the results. We got the report on Tuesday. Filing is on Wednesday. Tell me if politically, morally, legally, we would be able to annul that results on Tuesday and be able to conduct another primaries or acclamation to be able to meet the filing deadline of Wednesday. Yes. Filing was Tuesday. Yes. But you see, we are legally constrained, one, because you can't open nominations, print ballot papers, conduct primaries in our party, please, in our party. That's why we are National Democratic Congress. Our party is a democratic party. We do not choose leaders for our people. We allow, please. We allow our party to choose the leaders. You must give the party the opportunity and the people the opportunity to elect their choice. You cannot elect the choice for them. Even in cases where we have done acclamation, what happens is that it is only one person that files. But you don't have the time to open nomination, go by your constitution, open nominations, people file, you do elections, print ballot papers, bring them together and vote and do the elections before you go and file on Wednesday. Do you know what goes into filing nomination? Do you know what goes into filing nomination? By law, Electoral Commission requires you to fill a form, get endorsement from all the polling stations and all the electoral areas before your form is valid. So you are telling me that I should go and organize primaries on Wednesday, open nominations on Wednesday, pick the nominations, organize primaries, print ballot papers, do the election, go around and collect signatures, and go and file by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Who would do that? But you just ask yourself, does it even make sense? And so we are legally constrained. And remember that the Electoral Commission, upon the announcement of the death of the member of parliament, you have 30 days to organize the elections. Never in the history of this country has this been varied. And if the Electoral Commission want to vary it, they would have to go to court for court to grant them the permission to vary it. So you are saying that on Tuesday evening, we should take the decision that we have annulled our primaries so that we go and beg Electoral Commission, that go and call your lawyers and use state money to pay them, so that they go to court and go and plead with the court, that the court will vary that provision that they have 30 days to do the election and change the dates for their elections program. You can't do that. No, but why did the committee I sympathize with lawyer Martin Kpebu. I sympathize with this position. And obviously, this would have been the ideal position that the NDC would have loved to play. Because from the actions that we have shown, we've shown goodwill. President took the decision immediately to withdraw him. Party within the primaries issued a statement. We formed the committee. We have shown goodwill. And never in this country has that been done. Obviously, you should grant us that modicum. That Saturday night, you could have finished the committee work. No, Martin, you could have finished. Grant us that 24-hour sitting. Grant us that modicum of, please. Grant us that modicum of wisdom, of even respect, that at least the NDC has shown some goodwill, some small goodwill, that we are willing to act on this matter, and that if we were not constrained by the law, we wouldn't have taken. And look, we didn't take a decision politically motivated. We took a decision because, well, we considered, one, the moral grounding of that decision, the legal restrictions or constraints of that decision, and even the political constraints. And so we had to take a very difficult decision.
Thank you.
And owing to that, we didn't leave it there. We said, look, the others that were implicated in the report, some of them are government appointees. So we have requested that action is taken on all of them. Beyond that, we have extended the committee that we set up to look into how to prevent future occurrences. And that is the kind of commitment we want from political leaders.
I saw that the NDC lost
a very fine opportunity to, seize the moment. When Ahiagba and Co. gave that beautiful statement from Parliament that no, they want an annulment. NDC should have annulled the result.
You think they could have done something different?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. This U-turn. Yeah. I was shocked. I was like, you've taken the high moral stand. Ahiagba's statement, the majority caucus said they want an annulment. The party, NDC, should have granted them, annul it, ban all of those candidates, bring fresh candidates. In any event, you have an overwhelming majority in Parliament. You have 2/3. You have 2/3. So on an occasion where you have 2/3, you are not willing to it's not even sacrifice. Who says if they brought any other candidate, they would have lost? But in any event, if even they were to lose that election, it's insignificant. So the NDC lost a fine opportunity to really stamp that authority. I was like, hey, is that the beginning of the decline? Yeah, is that the beginning of the decline? Because how? Otukono, you guys, you have such a huge majority in Parliament. So if you were even to gamble by disqualifying these people and bringing somebody who is not known and you were to lose, it's nothing. It will pale into insignificance because just losing one seat, it's nothing. But Ghana would have remembered you for leading the charges to reform the law. That's what matters, because you made nonsense of the president's incessant calls to reset. This is his legacy mandate. This is President Mohammed's legacy mandate. You got this fine opportunity, the easiest time to do such a thing, and then you blew it. So Baba Jama will work in Parliament for the 3 years with a cloud over his head. He would never regain that stature. Everything is gone. Everything is gone. That seat is a tainted seat. Yeah, it's a tainted seat. If he wins it, it's tainted. It's tainted. No, Ghana is changed. You see, I keep saying, Otukono, 1.7 million votes. It's not NDC votes. It's us, the floating voters, plus MPP people who joined. So our country has now integrated. Really, I mean, at least we can see it. We've moved beyond the rhetorics to action. Well, a lot of MPP people, Ahiagba's people, were upset. They joined and voted for you. Floating voters voted for you. Seize the moment. One seat when you have such an overwhelming majority. So I was like, politicians never disappoint. They never disappoint.
There's agreement around the table. There's no disagreement. The only disagreement is to the extent that the NDC failed, to capture this opportune moment to deal with the matter. But I want to explore what Lawyer Kpebu said earlier about the representation of people's law being specific for parliamentary election, and so therefore maybe taking up this Baba Jamal case out to court may not find standing because the law is not expressly for internal party matters. But now you just made a point which is important to say that in excusing for why they can't take action, the NDC said the election was supervised by the EC. That's a committee's recommendation that there probably might be some legal issues emanating from that. And so then does that not make it a public election almost? You understand? Because one, the election is leading to making a parliamentarian, and that 284 actually is about parliamentary elections. And so can we not find access there in court to deal with this matter? I think just so maybe you can look at that. But the NDC actually blinked on the matter, and in doing so have lost the opportunity for all of us to engage this matter expressly. All across along the table here, people will agree with you. I think that it dilutes our democracy, the impact of these, money and gift giving to influence people. And the law was express. It says that anybody who does that commits an act of bribery. And so if that is a crime, then we should find a way to fight it. I want lawyers to tell us why we cannot find standing in court with that action consistent with 284. So I think that the NDC really has, they have to bow their heads in shame. I know this is just wrong. They themselves, a committee they put together, has found something to be untoward. But somehow the party is arguing that, oh, because of the shortness of time to file with EC, and so therefore we're going to go ahead. We in Ayawaso East, we had an acclamation, we selected a candidate, we didn't do a primaries. So if they wanted, they can actually annul that election. In fact, there are members in parliament that have given them a pathway to doing that, annul it, and then you can do an acclamation. Even that day, you find a candidate, to come up. Because in the interest of advancing democracy, this is something that we need to deal with expressly. In the MPP, in the NDC. So it's not really a question of NDC problem per se. It's a problem that confronts our democracy, and the opportunity was presented. The country saw it. And so therefore, there was no way to hide it. And that moment, we need to rise to the occasion to deal with this matter expressly. And the NDC lost the opportunity. And that will be a blot on their history. And I think I agree with Martin Kpebu to say that if our brother Baba Jamal, a good friend and a very distinguished individual, but yet his opportunity to go to parliament has become a serious bone of contention. Nobody likes that. What happened? We don't like it because it weakens our democracy. It takes away the sanctity of the vote to the highest bidder. How can we have a democracy like that? Who is Baba Jamal going to serve in parliament? His interest or the interest of the people he procured? So that's a challenge, and I think that they've let the country down.
Okay.
Yeah, minia mamena wase. Honorable Otukono wakasa wadi nkombo na utie ne nsem na all kan yie pa. Megidi se entiasie ewom. NDC for mu start bibi. Besena nka emre ewomu a ebia nka de mu start ye no. Anka omu ebewie. But ye say epokura no isuo eto egum. Enu nti na ema sa one seat no omu anyo omu adwen se omu ebehwere because omu ye omu adwen se anka omu otwi Baba Jamal na so a omu ma no stand there. Anka there will not be any parliamentary candidate for them for these by-elections. Into my imagine say yes, yemano en contesting, but emre air to amresono. In the yebeye, send ye ebeya internal politics ya ebabeya na say internal primaries ya ebabasui. Encrophobinum en faster opportunity no na omu enye inyuma sebe ense na enfata. Eno na lawyer Martin Kpebu so one tia sia ono de wahabo na adwen e de akere wo no. O say they had a fine opportunity. San come be demonstrate actually Ghanaians say yes, we are NDC. Na nyoma enye no ye so na nso omo masa opportunity we ahwere omo e na Honorable Rechard Ahiagba ono so na oye NPP ni make us oye NPP ni but first no na omo enko TB3 now they are back on TB3 screens into ono so wachele na dwen intimidua wahwe video no akobie onso wadwen chele e won nsem ya wati efa Honorable Otukono, lawyer Martin Kpebu, and Honorable Rechard Ahiagba. Omunko momodi, muswadwin chile ewo mu anything. Mesero sebe ko comment section na wa chile wadwi. Like video na share mo de binos onye bi. Meda wase nyankopon enka ho. Me ne wo ebihye bi sisi de makraw. Bye bye.